last year I had the great pleasure of meeting a guy by the name of David Williams. In fact, I was MC of a conference that he was speaking at and I had the pleasure of introducing him. He was a fascinating man. He's an astronaut, he's an aquanaut, I didn't even know those existed. He's somebody who's CEO of a hospital, he's a pilot, he's a skydiver, and also one of the most humble, genuine people that you'd ever want to meet. But being in his role of CEO of a hospital, he was telling me about working with the hospital on some of the issues that they had. So for example, there was a particular issue where they found that doctors were only cleaning their hands 56% of the times after they'd done a certain procedure. And so he said, well, what do we want it to be? 56 is obviously not acceptable. What do we want it to be? And he said, the team that he was working with said, well, yeah, if we can get it to 80%, we'd be happy. And he said, okay, so if I took you skydiving and gave you a parachute that had an 80% chance of opening, would that be okay to you? Good question, wasn't it? Okay. And so I thought this month's Thoughts on Leadership is about what is we really committed to here. It's often easier to say, well, this is where we are. That's part of the problem sometimes with benchmarking is, oh, we're here, great, so let's improve. Well, we'll only be able to improve by this much, so let's set this as a target. Instead of saying, what is possible? What could we achieve? All right? And so what sort of objectives have you got? What sort of outcomes are you striving for that have been based on past performance rather than on what the ideal should be? What should be the right objective to be had? So that was the thought I wanted to share with you for this month, was look at some of those objectives. Look at some of those things you've set yourself and ask yourself, what was the basis of the reasoning behind the setting of the objective? Think through, was it the right reasoning? Were you coming to setting objectives with the right mindset? Hope that's been an interesting thought for you for this month. Look forward to seeing you again next month. Bye for now.